When I picked up the Lumix S9, I knew I was going to want a small compact prime lens to use with it. There's a couple of options out there, but the choice is pretty obvious to me. Here's why I think the 35mm f2 from Sigma is the perfect prime lens to use with the Lumix S9 or any other compact camera. So before diving in, I do have to say Sigma did send me this lens as a loaner. I don't get to keep it, I'm not getting compensated in any way, and they don't get to view this video before I post it. With that out of the way, let's get started with the build quality. Overall, the build quality of this lens is solid, on par with some of the better lenses I've used in the past. It's made of all metal, and man does it look good. It has a classic feeling design, but it doesn't look too old, it just feels classy. It's got a solid heft to it, which usually I like, but it does feel a bit front heavy on a smaller camera like the S9. When paired with the grip or on a larger camera, it feels really well balanced. The lens has an AF/MF switch, which is always welcomed, along with an aperture ring that's clicked. You can't unclick it, but that's not an issue for me. I never use lenses unclicked anyway. It also has a focus ring which feels smooth and, well, like a focus ring. No complaints from me. The lens is also rather compact. If you're a Sony shooter, I'd say it's similar in size to the Sony 35mm f1.8, but looks way better and definitely feels of higher quality. Overall, the lens just feels solid, looks good, and I've got no worry about it not being able to handle some abuse. So let's move on to the fun, image quality. As to be expected, this lens is sharp. Unlike other lenses I've used in the past, when you hit your focus right, everything feels tack sharp, and hitting your focus right wasn't an issue either. The focus motors felt snappy, they were quiet and kept up with the camera's AF systems with no issue, even shooting video as well as for photos. Sorry, got a little sidetracked there, back to image quality. Photographers love tack sharp lenses, but they also love lenses with character. Usually you can't have both. I think the Sigma plays this line nicely. There's something about the depth of field fall off that feels really pleasing to me, especially when I'm taking photos of people. Overall, I was really happy with the images and the quality of those images that I got using the 35mm f2. So what makes this 35mm f2 the perfect prime lens for the S9 or other compact cameras? It's not just the smaller size or the great build quality or the image quality, it's the focal length. Now everyone has their favorite focal length, and for me that's 35. I honestly think 35mm is the most versatile focal length you can choose. It isn't too tight, but it's also not too wide. This allows you to capture so many different scenarios with it, from street photography to landscapes to portraits and all sorts of video work. This makes it the perfect focal length to carry around with you every day because you can do so much with it. Some people prefer a 50mm, 28 or 24, but to me these ranges lean too far in either direction, either a bit too wide or a bit too tight. 28 and 24 may be a bit better for street photography and landscapes, but aren't nearly as good as 35mm for portraits. 50mm is great for portraits, but when getting a whole street scene or a landscape, it can be challenging. It's just a bit too tight. 35mm is really the perfect in between. The small size and aperture range of this 35 f2 only add to how versatile this lens and focal length is. You don't need to worry about carrying heavy lenses all day, or the camera and the lens getting in the way when you're out and about. Yet you can still drop the aperture down to f2 and get nice shallow depth of field or better low light performance. Just like how 35mm focal length is the perfect middle ground, the Sigma 35mm f2 is also the perfect middle ground compared to any other 35mm lens out there. f2 is good in low light without sacrificing the size like a 35mm f1.4 would be. It's also willing to be a bit larger to get that f2 range, making it much more usable than a lens with an f2.8 or an f4 would be. This lens just really hits that sweet spot. It's not too large, but it also packs a punch and has some great performance for its size, where if you went smaller, you'd lose some of that performance. Like I said, the perfect sweet spot. All of this, the size, the features, the build quality, and the focal length make it the perfect compact prime for the Lumix S9, or really any other compact camera that Sigma makes this lens for. The E-mount version would be great for the Sony a7C series of cameras. Honestly, I'm really sad I have to send this lens back, and as soon as I have the budget, I'll be picking up one for myself. because I couldn't think of a better compact prime for a compact full-frame camera like the Lumix S9. All this being said, my time with this lens has made me quite curious. Based on my experience with this lens from Sigma, I have a feeling the 28-70 f2.8 Sigma offers might just be the best compact full-frame zoom for the S9. However, you'll have to wait for another video for that. For now, go and shoot some photos. Thanks for watching.